you're watching this and you feel like you're not quite where you want to be and something's missing, I understand, because I have been there. And it's a pretty lonely spot. I just want you to know that it's not over. My name's Omar and I've messed up. I've made many mistakes in my life. I've ruined things, built things, and that's why I've decided to create this YouTube channel. It's not going to be perfect, but what I can promise you is that it will be honest, and I will give you as much information that I have on experiences that I've learned building businesses, losing businesses, having relationships, losing relationships, being a father. Really what got me to this point, because I remember once upon a time when I was working for a company and I'd spent so many years doing university. I left, I went to college, and I just sort of bummed around a little bit, didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. And I just fell in this path of building a career as a quantity surveyor back in the day. And I got to the end of it and I really just wasn't being who I wanted to be. And I felt like I was someone else and I was lost. I didn't really know what to do with my life and I just felt so unfulfilled. I remember sitting in that car and I remember honestly just crying because I didn't know what to do with my life. I didn't really want to live, but obviously I didn't want to die. I just felt so unfulfilled, and this is why I know having a purpose is just so powerful. I had all of the things that everyone had deemed to be successful. I had the career, I had the car, I had the girlfriend, I had the holidays, and I still just felt like something was just missing from my life. Very recently, I've lost all of my Instagram accounts, I've lost my Facebook, and maybe this is a way that God has pushed me to make content, and I've wanted to make this content for a long period of time. And I just want to cover a few things in this video that has helped me along my way. So if you feel like you're stuck and you feel like you don't know where to go, these are things that have helped me get to where I am today. And I know that if you listen, they can definitely help you, and I hope they do. Even if this video just helps one person, then I've done my job correctly. Like today, for example, perfection is the enemy of progress. I sat here for 2 straight, even longer than that, about 3 hours. I even bought a camera, this Sony camera. It was like 500 quid or something like that, because I got all of the gear and no idea. And right now I'm recording this on a phone because I didn't know that these don't come with SD cards. So the next video will be on that camera, but right now we're doing it on the phone. But, look, just going back to what I was saying is perfection is the enemy of progress. I have sat here for 3 straight hours putting off just filming this video because I genuinely care so much about how I'm perceived. And that is a very bad thing. And it has been a very bad thing for me. And I'm not saying, look, go around and just be a dick and don't be nice and obviously don't take other people's feelings into consideration. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, for me, I cared so much about what other people thought of me. It actually prevented me from being me because I put myself in a box, and I was picked on when I was younger. So look, perfection is the enemy of progress. Just like today, I've sat here for 3 hours and not recorded this video, and now I'm recording it. I've got no script. I'm just saying this off the top of my head, hoping that it resonates and helps someone, and just give you a bit of an introduction as to things that have changed my life and what you can expect to see on this channel and expect to consume, because I'm here to give you the best that I can. Right? Why YouTube? It's long form versus short form. As I said, I've recently been banned from Instagram. It's a fucking nightmare, to be honest with you. It's been an absolute ball ache. I've spent thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands on their platform. I can't access Facebook Ads Manager, can't access Business Manager. My whole business has just been wiped out overnight. I'm a dad. I'm so grateful to be a dad. Grateful to even have all of this equipment. I've got 2 beautiful boys. They're twins. I've got a partner. And, that's why I do what I do. They've just taken my business away, and now I'm coming on YouTube. But I've wanted to do YouTube for ages. Why? Because you can just build a deeper connection with people. You can speak more. It's more trustworthy. And anyone in my space that sells info with regards to e-commerce or dropship or anything like that, it's really frowned upon. There's a lot of grifters out there. And do you know what? I don't blame people, because I was even acting like those grifters. Yeah, I was still giving a service and they weren't. Like, I have a great service. I really put time into helping other people. Not everyone does it. Why don't they do it? Because it's fucking hard. It's hard to spend hours and hours and hours and hours on calls with people and it not be working. You're teaching a strategy and then it works and it doesn't work for some people, and you've got to reiterate things. I know I'm going on a little bit there, but I get it. I get why people fall into that trap, because even I put myself in that box where I can operate outside of this mask that I've fucking created on Instagram. This perfect person in this perfect life. Look at me with this perfect car and everything so perfect. YouTube, I can be more raw. You know, like my story and my experiences. You know, I don't come from money at all. You know, my mum was a single mum. She had 3 boys. You know, God bless my mum. I owe my life to her. I don't know how she done it, even with 2 boys and a partner. I don't know how women do it in general, even if they're with someone, because it's so difficult being a parent. But it's so rewarding. You know, it's not something that I'm moaning about, but it's fucking hard, right? You know, my mum was a single parent. My dad was never fucking around. It's part of the reason why I push myself so much, because I know when I was younger, I wouldn't listen to anyone. It didn't matter who it was. Whatever you told me, I was never going to listen, because I had always followed by example. I'd followed by my uncles and other people that I knew, and they went out drinking and partying and doing all this other stuff. So I followed too. Me, I don't drink. I'm over 1.5 years clean and sober. I haven't drank. I don't do any drugs. I used to have a really bad issue with like addictions, and I changed my life. For anyone that's struggling with anything like that, you're not broken, you're not lost, and your life can change, and you can change it around, and that's what God has done for me, and I'm so grateful for the life that He has given me. But I didn't come from anything. We had enough to get by, but you know, I had school dinner tickets. My mum had to decide whether to put £20 on gas or £20 on electric. I remember me and my other brother, because one of my youngest is a lot younger than me, but one of them is a year apart. And we sit there playing PlayStation, and back in the day it was like on a memory card that used to go in the front of the PlayStation, and we'd already be on emergency electric. You know, you had the £5, for those of you that know that are watching, that had gone, and then it would be like halfway through a game or through a story, and bang, the fucking electric goes, and we've just lost all of the data, and we've lost where we were. But I came from nothing. I struggled. I been in lots of relationships, and you know, ruined most of them because I was hurt, and I think hurt people. And until I grew up, which really was only when I had kids that I sort of changed my life around, stopped hanging around with people that weren't good for me, and actually started to take responsibility for my life, take responsibility in my actions, and take other people's feelings into consideration. I've started online businesses. I've won a couple of these awards here. This is a Shopify award. I don't want to make it about this, but I have that there as a reminder to me that I can do things that I once believed that I could never do. A big thing that I have is I always have self-doubt in everything that I do. I don't know whether that goes back to like a trauma as a kid, and you know, this isn't like a sympathy card or anything like that. I don't want you to think that. But it's like an old record playing in the background, right? Where doubt comes in quite a bit. But, you know, what I've learned is that life doesn't really fucking give a shit. You know, life doesn't care about your feelings, and it's not going to make it any easier for you because of what you have been through. So I've run online businesses. I've lost a lot of stuff. I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I've also had a lot of fun. You know, met a lot of great people. I'm not limited to where I live. I'm moving to Portugal. I've got residency in Dubai. I'm back and forth from England all of the time to see my family, and I'm just fucking blessed, you know, with the opportunity of the internet and what e-commerce has given me. You know, I'm going to be, you know, giving a lot of my teachings to you guys. You can run paid marketing for companies and position your businesses well online, and just give you as much as that I can, because I know, look, there's a lot of people that they don't have the money to invest into mentorships, and they want to learn and they would like to, but they just don't. And I get it, because I know, and I've been there, and that's part of the reason why I'm making this channel. What changed my life? Changed my life was to the point where I realized that I just took responsibility for where I was, because I had always blamed it on, you know, not having a dad when I was growing up. I always blamed it on being misfortuned. I blamed it. It was always someone else's problem, but it was never my problem. And when I realized that, and I took that accountability for it being me and my fault, then my life changed, and I gave my life to God. I was baptized. My partner's a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, and I'm so grateful, because He delivered me from a dark place, you know, a really, really dark place where I was lost. Everything seemed great on the outside, but you know, internally I was fucked. You know, I was fucked. You know, and I'm sure a lot of you have been there as well. And you know, I never had a dad, but I left my mum's house when I was 16. I went to go live with my grandparents, and my granddad is essentially like the father figure that I never had. And he's old school, you know, he's in his late 70s, but he's old school, you know. It's brought up off the back of shut up and deal with it. You know, you're a man, shut the fuck up, go to work. You know, just deal with it, right? Don't talk about your emotions, don't cry, men don't cry, and that sort of stuff. And I feel like that in a way helped me, but also held me back quite a bit, because I wasn't able to, you know, really come to terms with how I was feeling and then processing all of them emotions. And when I met God, he allowed me to believe in myself, because he believed in me before I believed in me, right? I know I've rambled on a little bit there. We'll cover a lot more of this throughout. I don't want to make this some big story about me. I just want to cover a few things, you know. And who is this for? As you're aware, I spent 3 hours just sat here not knowing who to make this for. This is for the people that want more out of life. You know that they're not quite where they want to be, but they can be where they want to be. I didn't come from anything. I don't make this content to glamorize myself and to tell you how good I am. I'm here to show you that if you want your life to be better, you can be better. I'm not special. I'm someone who came from nothing. You know, I want to be known as someone who has helped others, someone who inspires others to be more. This is something this used to be my old room. So now it's my office. And these are the things I used to write. Yeah, life is serious. It's serious if you win or lose. I will be obedient to the vision. The future is serious. Get serious. Start with learning, you know. But then I've got this prayer here, right, which is from the Bible, and it says, "The Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain, so he who reads it will run to it, and even though it may take a long time, for surely it will come at an appointed time." You know, I've got Matthew 25:29 on my ribcage as well. And it basically just says, you know, if you believe, then you can. And I know you may be so far away from where you want to be right now. You might not know how you're going to get there. But what I can tell you is I got there. And if someone like me can do it, then you can do it too. If you've made it this far, then thank you. There was a time that I used to sit here alone at night thinking that I was meant for more, but I just had no clue how to get there. And if that's you, then that's my people. I'm not going to sit here and tell you and promise you that I know everything, but what I am going to do is take you along for the journey and show you what I am doing and what I'm building and how it can help you. I'm not going to pretend that I've got it all figured out, but I'm going to take you along for the small wins, the losses, and all of the bumps. So hang tight. It's only going to get better from here. I'll see you on the next video.